So let's talk about the very important topic now, which is Webpack Config File, which is the heart of Webpack actually. There is nothing other than Webpack Config File configuration actually. You can do Webpack configuration here and see the magic. Okay, so it's very important for you to learn how to configure the different modules, different loaders, plugins, entry point, output, port number, and all the configurations. It's very simple, don't worry at all. Just listen and watch this video and you will understand everything. Means you can even crack the interview also, I am very sure. Don't worry about that. So let's walk through it. What is the default file name? It's a webpack.config.js. Okay, default file name is webpack.config.js. So it's in the JSON format, as you will be able to see this. So that module should be exported, and syntax is modular export or exports. Okay, Webpack handles these import statements and ensures that the appropriate modules are included in the output bundles. So an entry point is the starting point. There is an entry point in the Webpack. You need to provide the entry point. It's the file that Webpack uses to build the dependency graph for your project. What is the meaning of dependency graph? Dependency graph means you made the entry at one place, and after that your application need whatever other files or other components or other CSS, images, whatever. It started analyzing and getting those dependencies. Dependency is what? Different files, different folders, different images, different assets. Okay, so don't worry with this difficult word, dependency graph. Okay, so it's nothing but the things which are required by your application. The dependency graph represents how different modules in your application depend on each other. Webpack starts from these entry points and recursively follows the dependencies to create a complete graph of all the modules needed by your application. So Webpack, whatever the entry point is, it will start from there and it means go through all the files as per the dependencies you have imported and exported. Okay, so once Webpack has processed the dependency graph, it generates output bundles. Now what is output bundle? Output bundle means there is a folder. You can create that folder and keep it in the root of your application, and there you can put the files, and the folder name and file names are dynamically given. Okay, so you can give whatever is as per your choice. So all the assets and code will be put there. So what kind of code will be there? As I mentioned, browser, whatever browser understands. So browser understands plain JavaScript, plain CSS. Okay, so always keep this in mind. Browser does not understand your React.js code, your other code. So you define the output configuration in your Webpack config using the output property. The output configuration specifies where Webpack should place the generated bundle. That is what I told you, right? So in the next few minutes you will understand what I am talking about. When Webpack generates the output bundles, it combines the modules from the dependency graph and their dependency into these bundles. So the resulting bundles can be included in HTML files. So it creates one index.html file, and that index.html file contains the dependency, like whatever JS file is created, it included automatically. Okay, so whatever dependencies, all the dependencies will be included there. So entry points define the starting point of your application, and output bundles are the result of the Webpack bundling. So Webpack takes some code and gives some code. This is what every time you need to understand. What is Webpack's work? It takes something, processes, parses, transpiles, polyfills, whatever it does, and after conversion it can provide you the optimized code, images and compressed images, and it keeps you in one folder so that you can take it from there. Okay, so everything can be automated. Don't worry at all, everything can be automated. Now you see in the code, in the left side I have shown you the code. You see the entry here. This is the entry. I have told that src, go to src and app.js will be my entry point. This is what I said. And output file will be bundle.js. You see here output object is there. It is a file name is bundle.js, and the path means the folder. So what I am saying, current directory dir. Okay, current directory, make the folder as dist and put this bundle.js inside this dist. Okay, so whenever you run this Webpack, what will happen? It will create a dist folder and it will put bundle.js, and that bundle.js will run with the help of index.html also. Don't worry. Okay. So multi-entry points I wanted to show. In the last example, you see the single entry point. I am myself telling because so many people keep asking me, is there possibility of having multiple entry points and multiple outputs? Yes, there is a possibility, and this way, like entry object is there, you see entry object and output object. So in the entry object, what I am saying with the name of app, this is the entry point of app.js, and admin.js, and the output will be similar. File name will be this bracket name. So always understand this name will replace this name, entry name. Okay, app, like you see on the right side here. Okay, app.bundle.js and admin.bundle.js, like this. And the similar, that means output will be two files, app.bundle.js, admin.bundle.js. Entry will be two files, app.js and admin.js. And where it will keep, you see dist folder, it will keep inside the dist folder the two files. Which two files? app.bundle.js. You see here I have given the example. I will show you everything whatever I am showing in the PPT also. So just stay with me. Webpack modules export, it supports both the modules. There are two types of modules. One is ES modules and one is common module, common JS module. Okay. So .mjs extension is there, and it can support and it can parse all that also, right? And here if you see in this configuration what is mentioned, I will explain you one by one. So what it is saying, it has created a rule. Rule is an array. It can have multiple rules also for one webpack. So for the test option, I am asking it to either have parse .mjs file or only mjs files. Okay, this is all a regular expression. I am not going to teach regular expression. I am asking it to exclude the node modules because node modules have so many files. I don't want it to parse because I don't have anything to do with that. I want to use the Babel loader, and all of you know that Babel loader is responsible for parsing the React.js like code and create the HTML, React.js and this one JSX code, right? And presets is Babel and preset environment. So this is what I wanted to explain. Okay. Second thing is common JS. Common JS is a kind of commonly like Node.js. Many existing JavaScript projects also it is used actually, and this is how it looks. It's kind of similar actually, right? There is no much difference basically. The difference is in the plugins only. Let's talk quickly about differences between common JS and ESM. ES modules are ESM means M for module. ES modules use a standardized syntax with import and export keywords. Common JS modules require to import modules. So this is one of the small difference actually. Okay, not very big thing, but there are few important considerations here. Like ESM are statically analyzable, which means the imports and exports are resolved at compile time. Now compile time means what? It compiles the code before running actually. Okay, so at that time it can analyze. Okay, so this is why it can optimize the module dependency during the build process. That means at the time of creation and the output files, at the time only that compilation, that checking, that everything is performed. So that is very important aspect in terms of performance. Okay, and what is the difference and how it is different? CJS is different. It is dynamically evaluated, which means import and exports are resolved at runtime. The dynamic nature of CJS can make it more flexible but less efficient for static analysis. So the runtime and build time, I told you what is build time means at the time of compiling, at the time of building the static files, it does everything and creates you runnable code, gives you runnable code. But runtime means what? At the runtime only it checks and performs all the operations. So it is not good use case. In fact, this is very bad. I mean, from the CJS perspective. So browser support. ES modules are natively supported by modern browsers, whereas CJS are not natively supported by the browsers. And For example, few things are not supported by the older browsers related to ESM also. So Webpack can transpile it and bundle them again so that it works, which is not very efficient in common JS modules. Actually, we typically need a bundler like Webpack to transform them into format that can be understood. So it should be as it is a runtime. That's why there are so many problems with the common JS also. Okay. So tree shaking is one of the best feature I can tell you guys. Actually, if there is a code which is not in use, it removes the tree shake the code while the process of tree shaking using Webpack. But it is not possible in the CJS. It happens in the ES modules only. So because of the static structure, it is possible to remove the unused code, and because of removing the unused code, it is very fast. It's very simple, right, to understand, because if there is no unused code, performance will be increased. Only the code which is running will be present in that bundle, output bundle, right? So this is the difference. And as I told you, this is the summary of the difference is, ESM offers the standardized syntax, static analysis and native browser support. They are more efficient in terms of bundling and tree shaking with Webpack. On the other hand, common JS modules have a more dynamic nature and require a bundler like Webpack to transform them for browser usage. And the biggest drawback is, it does everything on the runtime, the common JS. Okay, so that was not related to Webpack, but I just wanted you guys to understand about this also. So this is the code. I told you that in importing, how do we import in ESM? We need to use the import statement. You see in the left side, on the right side, you see it's using the require module, right? So exporting is all same, but importing is little bit